This is a 90s U2 reissue, and this switch does not function properly. And I have taken it apart, and I believe the tension springs in there, how it makes a contact, they just aren't functioning correct. I tried to bend it, but I think I made it worse. So I saw online, somebody said, I know it's an on, off, on switch, like an auto switch. Someone said that the switches at the hardware store will work. So this is the cheaper switch. I think there was a more expensive switch. This switch is like $5. So I'm going to see if it will fit. I have my doubts, but I just want to see. Here's the guts. I just opened it. I mean, at first glance, it looks smaller, but as long as the width's the same, it'll fit in that rig. And then, of course, I've got one that's got they're not even soldered. They're screw type. I don't know if I can solder to that or not. I'm going to figure it out. If you made it this far and you're curious, I think this is 14 millimeter. I also forgot that you have to take that whole plate out from the back. So these are 11 millimeter. And you just pull those knobs off. They might be stuck on there, but just keep pulling. Plate out, you just pull carefully. This little cap was hanging up there. Just tuck it in and it'll come out. And then here's the new switch. It's actually the right width. The toggle throw is longer. That's not going to bother me. Okay, first major difference here, you can see the threads are coarse on the old switch and they are fine on the new switch. So you have to use the hardware from the new switch. I'm sure the old switch is nice brass, but is not going to work. So you have to use the hardware from the new switch, but you can reuse the washers. Okay, I wanted to do a dry fit first, just make sure it's not too tall, but it looks good. I think I'm going to flip the switch around 180 so that terminal is on the right-hand side so I can get at it easier. Okay, I think it's going to work. I used some abrasive cloth that I had, and you could see I scraped it good, and then I used some flux, and I was able to tin that terminal. I think we're good. All right, this is probably where all the people who know what they're doing are going to call me an idiot. I am trying to solder to the side of this for the ground wire, and I scuffed it up and I have some flux, but I can't get it to go. Probably if I had a bigger iron, either it would go or it would melt the switch. So I don't know, I may have to screw it underneath the top, in between the plate and the top. I'm going to try a little bit more. Okay, no way that's going to work. Not with what I have. I don't have my iron one do it. So this is where somebody's going to open this thing up and go, oh God, some amateur worked on this. Yeah, that's me. But guess what? It's my guitar and it's a cheap guitar and I just want it to work. So I'm going to put this right here underneath and I'll bend it up and solder to that. And that's going to be that. Okay, there we go. You can see I went from the inside to the out so I could solder to the flat side, and that really wasn't a problem as much as I thought. I mean, I definitely sanded it a little bit with some emery cloth, and it soldered no problem. And once I gave up on soldering to the switch body, so I think we're good. It's ready to butt it up and try it. Well, it works, and it's got a lot of tension in the switch. I like it, and it kind of makes a little pop, which I also like, but it's fun. And, maybe you don't need it because you can always just leave it in the middle and use the balance, but I wanted it to work, and that's that. It was a good project. Again, it was $5 at Home Depot, and maybe about an hour's worth of work for me, and maybe 5 minutes of cleanup here, but otherwise pretty cool. Thanks for watching.